Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everyone. My name is Mohd Fadzil bin Kamarudin. I from Pusat Jenis Pintar Negara, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Today I would like to present to you a research. So that is about differential instruction, exploring the attitude of gifted and talented students in mathematics. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start with these three definitions. What the meaning of gifted and talented student, and what is differential instruction, and also what is gifted program in Malaysia. Alright, number one, what the meaning of gifted and talented student. So based on Diana Haycock 2020, the meaning of gift is superior in net aptitude. So they are very good in some area of aptitude. For example, they are good in intellectual, they are good in creativity, they're also good in social, they're also good in perceptual, they're also good in mental domain, muscular and motor, and also physical domain. Alright, that is the meaning of gift. So the second one is what is the talent? Talent is outstanding learned capability, skill and ability in some area of skill. So we can see here. So all of these are examples for the talent. So they're good in academics, science and technology, art, social service, administration, business, game and athlete. Some of them can be athlete if they are very good in some area of sport. Okay, then what is differential instruction? Differential instruction is a tailoring instruction to meet the individual needs. So this definition is come from Carroll and Tolimson 2017. Teacher can differentiate the content, process, product, and also the learning environments in order to match with characteristic of the student. There are three characteristics of the student that should be considered. So number one is student readiness, number two is interest, and the third one is learning profile. In order to examine the readiness of the student, teacher can do some activities, some tests before start the class. They can do a pre-test, they call it as pre-test, to assess student readiness in the class. Okay, and then student will design teacher will design the activities that match with all of these characters, include a learning style for the student. So all of this definition is very clear about differential instruction. Alright, so about the gifted program in Malaysia, it starts in 2011. So the name of this program is called as the school for this program is called as College Jenis Pintar Negara, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Okay, and College Jenis Pintar Negara also has used differential instruction as a kind of pedagogy in its teaching and learning activities. Students that enroll in these schools, they are selected from throughout Malaysia based on these three tests: UKM1, UKM2, and also UKM3. Okay, next. Alright, so I would like to start with my purpose of the study for this research. Okay, so the research is about to determine whether the activity implemented by the teacher throughout the teaching and learning session in the differential instruction will have a positive impact on the attitude of this student in mathematics or not. So this is the first purpose for this study. The second one is an examination of the student performance in the classroom can be carried out with particular attention paid to the student achievement in the subject of mathematics. So the second one, I would like to find the relationship between the activity for differential instruction and also what the influence to the student achievement in the subject of mathematics. So this research objective, we have only two research objectives: to study the relationship between the differential instruction and attitude of student in mathematics, and the second one will be to study the impact of differential instruction towards student Some literature review I put here. I just want to let everybody know some past paper about this title of research. So differential instruction is the most effective approach to fulfill the need of gifted and talented students. So it's quote to George 2005 and Lee 2018. And teacher who differentiate instruction must design and organize their course in a way that is customized to varying learning style, interests, and preparedness of their students. So that is quote from Tomlinson 2017. So there are a variety of factors that might have an influence on this progress, including student preparedness, interest, and learning profile in the subject matter of knowledge they are receiving. That is Diana Haycock and et al. 2020. Alright, so that is literature review for this research. Okay, this is methodology for this research. I do survey techniques. Okay, we developed a questionnaire that consists of two components, namely student demographic and also student response to the teaching and learning session utilizing differential instruction method. Okay, we want to measure student attitude toward this kind of pedagogy. That's why we must develop a questionnaire that measure the student response to teaching and learning session utilizing differential instruction method. Okay. The name of this questionnaire is Student Motivation Orientation Toward Differential Instruction in Mathematics. So we name this questionnaire as Student Motivation Orientation Toward Differential Instruction in Mathematics. So there are 5 point scale was used to evaluate the item, with the number 5 represent a strong agreement and number 1 represent a strong disagreement. So I think it's a very basic research methodology. Then we go to this study was conducted at KGPN, College Dinas Pintar Negara, and involved 400 gifted and talented students. Alright, the data was examined using SPS as statistics and has been tested a reliability value of Corbus alpha. So we get 0.907. It means that we can use we can agree the reliability of this data. Alright, this is a result, and this is a result for this research. Okay, the first result, I want to measure the attitude of gifted and talented students. What I have is, from the questionnaire we have developed, we have grouped all of this questionnaire and trying to test based on this attitude. Okay? The first attitude, what we get is students like to learn independently. This is the first attitude for this kind of student. We can see here all of these items show that the scale is more than 3. That means that all of these items reflect a good attitude of this student toward the efficiency of differential instruction has been done by the teacher in the class. They are very interested what teacher doing in the class by giving them to learn independently. So this is the first attitude. They like to learn independently. Alright. The second one, students are permitted to openly express their opinion and thoughts. So this is the second one. They like to express their opinion and thoughts. Okay. So by using differential instruction, teacher able to do some activities that they give a chance to students to express their opinion and also thoughts. So this increase student attitude and student motivation in the teaching and learning session. Okay. Okay, the third one, the degree to which students are willing to participate in a range of interesting and appropriate activities. So if the activities are doing in the class are very interesting, so students will be interested with this kind of activities. So these are the scale that you can see from the slide. So they are very good. They are very interested to join the activity if the activity is if the activity or range are very good. And number 4, student reaction, flexible grouping in the classroom. In doing differential instruction, teacher always will do a flexible grouping, in order to make the activities. To do the activities. So you can see here, they are very interested when teacher do flexible grouping in the class, because there is a chance for them to express their idea. They join with the activity. Okay, they can express their thought, and also they can learn independently, or sometimes they can share the idea with a friend. So that's why they are very interested when teacher do flexible grouping in the class. And number 5, this is a level which student appreciate teacher, will encourage student learning. Okay, so in order to perform differential instruction in the class, teacher must student not only study independently, but they should have support and also have encourage from their teacher. The teacher, even this kind of pedagogy is more to student centered, but at the same time, teacher must be facilitator for the process of for this learning process. The teacher must support, must encourage what their student doing during the activities. So that is how what teacher have done in the class. They are very interested with the teacher assist them with the game, or maybe with some activity they have doing in the class. Okay. And number 6, the degree to which student acknowledge the efficiency of teacher administered assessment. Okay, other than teacher differentiate through the content, through the process, and also through the learning environment, teacher also will doing differentiate through the product. So this is some kind of teacher should design the interesting assessment for the student. They can design ongoing assessment that can reflect student performance, and also they can also the product also must based on learning style for the student, or based on character or characteristic of this student. So you can see here, even there are 1 or 2 items that are not achieve more than 3, but it's still good to say that they are they still good with what teacher doing by giving them the assignment, the test, quiz, and ongoing assessment. All right. So that all of this is about the attitude of gifted and talented student. The respond to what teacher doing in the class using differential instruction. So that is the result that I have from analysis that I have done with SPSS. The analysis is about correlation method. Okay, and now I measure the mean for the scale satisfaction of student respond to what teacher doing in the class. Okay. All right, the second one, there is the impact of differential instruction towards student performance in mathematics. So we have organized the two examination to measure this kind of objective. Okay, we want to study the impact of differential instruction toward the student performance in mathematics. So we prepare for exam 1 and also exam 2 for the semester 1 and also semester 2. Okay, you can see here all of these are positive. Okay, we use correlation method, so all of these are positive. That means what? That means the relationship between attitude of students have a positive impact to the performance of student in mathematics. Okay, so all of these result reflect that the activity has doing in the class by the teacher give student positive impact on their attitude and also motivation. Okay, and this one we want to find the relationship between all of the attitude we have outlined before this. Okay, what the attitude? The attitude is students like to study independently. They like to sharing the idea. They like what the teachers encourage and support them in the class, and also they like to the interesting activities. They like to the interesting assessment. Okay? So all of this attitude, we want to find the relationship between all of these attitudes. So you can see the table 2. Table 2, the relationship between 6 components of the student attitude in mathematics. All of these 6 components show very good relationship. That means between the component I said just now, they are very good the relation between each other. Okay. Alright, so for the conclusion class, ladies and gentlemen, for the conclusion, the finding of the study have demonstrated that when a study is properly conducted, student interest in an attitude toward teaching and learning session can be greatly enhanced. Okay, so they have highly favorable attitude towards several selected components, including independence learning, openly express ideas and thoughts, engaging activity, encouraging and supportive teacher, flexible grouping, and interactive and appropriate assessment. Several of components of differential instruction has been shown to have favorable influence on performance of the gifted and talented student in mathematics. So that is my conclusion for this research. So the research offer a follow-up study to examine the impact of differential instruction on the mathematical thinking process, because we must know that in mathematics, maybe there's some there are process what we call as mathematical thinking process in order to solve the problem in mathematics. So now we want to examine that how this activity in differential instruction have influence in mathematical thinking process. That is the further research that we will do later. All right. So I think that's all of my presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.